So now that we have discussed about the data types in Python, we'll now move on to the operators. So any language has some operators, and Python too has these operators as mentioned over here, which are arithmetic, assignment, comparison, logical, identity, membership, and bitwise operators. Now we will see these with the help of examples one by one. So let's start. First up is arithmetic operators. Most of us are familiar with these. These are basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Also, we have two special uh, operators over here, that is floor division, which is two forward slashes, and it returns basically the division with throwing out the remainder part. That is, it is without the fractional part, it returns the output. We will see an example, and there's another exponentiation operator, which is x double star y. So that will return x to the power y. Also, there's a modulus operator, which is used to return the remainder when x is divided by y. So as you see, if x is 15 and y is 4, then addition will give 19, subtraction will give 11, multiplication will give 60, and division will give this. Now you see the floor division, this is giving 3 as the output. That is because 15 divided by 4 is 3.75, and after throwing out the fractional part we are left with only 3. So that is the main purpose of floor division operator. Now exponentiation, this means 15 to the power 4, and hence it will return 50625. Modulus, 15 divided by 4, the remainder is 3, so it has output 3 over here. Let us see an example in Colab as well. So here is it. So if I divide 5, we are doing floor division, so we are dividing 5 by 2, and so the answer will be 2.5. But since this is floor division, the output which we will get is 2. Again, 2 double star 5, this means 2 to the power 5, that is exponentiation operator, which will output 32, as it can be seen over here. So let's now move on to assignment operators. Here we have assignment operator. So assignment operator basically assign values to the variables. So it has to be kept in mind that whichever variable we are assigning some value, that has to be kept on the left side of the assignment operator, and the value which we are assigning in that variable has to be kept to the right side of the assignment operator. So you can see the example. If I have to set the value of x as 5, then we will assign it like this: x equal to 5, and print x to see the output 5. Also, this plus equal to means x plus equal to 3 means x is equal to x plus 3. So and so on. This minus, multiplication, division, so on moves means the same thing. So also now we should see an example. Assignment operators: x equal to 3. Now x plus equal to 3 means x is equal to x plus 3, which if I comment this out, uh, we can see it here: x is equal to x plus 3, and then we will, oh, seems like I will make this a doc string, and then we will see then answer is again 6. So if I remove this doc string, then answer should be 9, because we have performed the plus operator 2 times. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Now let's again, so this is, we have discussed about assignment operators. Now comparison operators. Comparison operator, as the name suggests, used to compare two values, that is greater than, lesser than, or to check whether they are equal. We use this operator, which is a special operator if you are new to this language, which is equal to equal to. Note that this is different from assignment operator, which uses only a single equal to, but here we have two equals. That means it is a comparison operator. Not equals to is defined by this sign, exclamation mark, and then an equal to, and this is greater than equal to, this is lesser than or equal to. This is pretty much the I mean trivial, and we can see that that the return type over here is boolean. As you can see the values, it is only two values can be possible, whether something can be greater than something or something can be lesser than some other thing. There is no other option. So with that, let's move on to the logical operator part. Logical operators, the name suggests, are used to perform these logical operations like and, or not. Here we have x is equal to true and y is equal to false, and if we take and of them, we'll get false. If we take or, then we'll get true. And if we do the not x, that is the negation of x, then we will get negation of true, that is false, and hence the output over here. So this is pretty much basic. Now identity operator, this might be new to you. So identity operators are used to compare the objects not in the value, but if they are actually the same object with the same memory location. So this is a bit tricky. I will show you this in Colab. So here we have identity operators. Like I've defined x is equal to a list which contains two elements, 1 and 2, and I have defined y same as x, and I've defined another variable z, another list z, which is equal to x. Now if I print x is y, then it will return false because x and y are not the same object. But if I ask print x is z, then it will print true because I have made them equal over here, which means that they are the same object. Now the difference between an identity operator and the comparison operator over here is that if I write x is equal to y, that means if I'm comparing whether they have the same values, then it will return true. But if I write x is y, then it will return false. So I hope that clears the difference between identity operators and the comparison operators. Okay, now we will see next operator, which is membership operators. So membership operators are used to test if a sequence is present in an object. Like if x is a string hello world, then I can check whether an alphabet is present in that string x or not. So here I have checked it whether print h in x. So this is returned true because this we can see this h over here. Note that this is case sensitive. So if I check print hello not in x, and this h is small over here, so this will return true because this small h hello is not over here. So not in x will return true. Print 1 in y, 1 is present in this dictionary, so it will return true. So that is about the membership operators. Now we'll move on to the bitwise operators. So as the name suggests, this bitwise operators performs bitwise operations like bitwise and, bitwise or, bitwise not. So what we have to do in order to perform it manually, we can convert x and y into their binary form, and then bit by bit we can perform these operations, and then we can check these results. So bitwise and or not, XOR, this might be clear to you. Now this right shift operator might be new to you. So right shift operator means that this x has to be shifted, the bits have to be shifted towards right with y, whatever the value y has, then we will shift the number of values which are equal to y. Right shift operators also means to divide x. If we perform right shift operation only one time, that is y is equal to 1, then it means that we are dividing x by 2 and throwing out the remainder, that is equal to the floor division part. And similarly, bitwise left shift means that if y is equal to 1 over here, that means we only shift one bit by left in x, then that means we are multiplying it by 2, and that is, we will get 2 into x as the output. So I hope that is clear. Now we'll discuss about the code blocks. So code blocks are basically some units in Python whose code is executed whose code is executed at once together. Here we are. The examples can be functions or a class or this even if else statement. Now we will discuss about if else. So as the name suggests, if you have to put condition on something, then these are the conditional operators basically. If you have to print something under a certain condition, then you will use this if else. So let us take an example over here. So if the condition inside these brackets holds true, then it will execute this block only, that is this block, but else will execute if the condition over here was not true. So if here we have a equal to 5, b equal to 7. So if this is checked that if a is equal to 5. So uh, if that is true, a is 5 over here, so this condition will uh, execute this statement, and else will be ignored over here. If we would have written x a is equal to 6, then this would have been a wrong condition, then else would have been executed and we would have gotten b is greater than a. Ignore the greater than part. This is just for this is just an example, and you don't have to take it literally, like this doesn't mean anything. This we are checking only if whether a is equal to 5 or not. So now while is used to basically, while is a loop, uh, much like for. If you have studied some language, then you might be aware of it. In any languages we have these loops, in most of the languages I mean. And you can see that this while has a condition inside it, and as long as these condition uh, holds true, this loop will go on. This will print the count is count, and now we are incrementing count by 1. So this loop will go about 5 times, around 5 times. So each time count increases, this goes here, checks this condition, then if the condition holds true, then it will uh, execute this code block, otherwise it will print goodbye. It will come out of the loop and it will print goodbye. Also, one thing to be noted here is indentation, that when we are writing a while loop, and after the condition we put a colon, and after that colon we indent uh, towards right, and then we write the statements which have to be executed inside this code block. Similar is the case with if and else. Like you can see that if a is equal to 5, and after the condition we have a colon, and then we have this indentation over here, and if this is true, then only this will be printed, or else we again have this colon, this will be printed. Again, note the indentation over here. This is very important in Python, as we don't have curly braces over here like in C or C++, if you are aware. So this indentation has to be kept in mind. Now for loop, as I mentioned earlier, so for loop is used when we know where to end the loop, and while loop is used when the the condition is not certain that when the loop will end. So here we have a list which contains these three elements, 1, 3 and 4, and I is a variable here. So this is the syntax of for for I in A. That means this I is a variable in A that starts from the first index, print I, and by default this incrementation in for loop is by one index. So first it will print 1, then it will print 3, then it will print 4. That is the elements in this list named A. Now we will discuss about functions. So functions, uh, why, what is the use of function? First I will tell you that. So imagine that you have to write a certain code again and again in order to perform something, some operation. So instead of writing same code again and again, we can write one function instead and call that function again and again, uh, so so as to perform that operation. So this will save a lot of time, as we don't have to write the same code again and again. We will write only one function call and our job will be done. So this is the basic idea behind functions. That's why we use functions. That is the main advantage of them. Also, functions can keep the code very clear and legible, and that will be easy to comprehend by other people who are reading your code. So that is uh, that is also kept in mind. So now we'll discuss about the types of functions in Python. First is user defined functions, which as the name suggests itself, that are defined by the user themselves, or there are built-in functions, which there are a lot of built-in functions which are very helpful in Python. So user defined function are defined by def keyword to declare the function, followed by the function name and parenthesis, inside which we can provide some uh, arguments which can be used inside the function body. We'll see an example, as we see an example here as well, but we'll see an example in Colab. So let's go to Colab functions. So I have written new function named new function. So def, then the name of the function, and then an argument which is passed inside this uh, parenthesis. So print hello plus name. This plus concatenates the name string and hello. So I now call new function. Note that I have called it outside uh, this function body, because I have not indented that one with print. So this I have called outside the function body. I have named the function, and then I have passed an argument which is Divyansh, that is my name, inside the string. And when this will go inside this, then it will concatenate these two strings to print hello Divyansh. I hope that is clear. Now let's move on to the more general definition and features of the functions. So any input parameters or arguments that, as I said, that should be placed within these parentheses. Uh, Also, as I mentioned, the importance of putting colon. Code block within every function starts with a colon and is indented, and the importance of indentation also has to be kept in mind over here. Uh, Now, some functions use this return statement to return something which is evaluated by a function. We will see more examples as we proceed. So a function can either have a return statement or it cannot have a return statement. There is no compulsion. But if you are calculating something and you have to return it, then you will have to use return statement. And don't get confused if you are not able to understand it. We'll see this uh, as we move along in this course. A return statement with no arguments is the same as return none, as we have in this function. Like here we have no return statement, so that means return none. We can call the function by function name followed by parenthesis. Here is the function name, and these parentheses contain the argument. Now the built-in functions. There are a lot of built-in functions in Python. You can read about them more as you proceed along in this course, or as you proceed along in general in Python. So Python has a lot of built-in functions, which some of them are mentioned over here. We'll see some examples as well. So this integer is a variable which is -20. Now this ABS means this will return the absolute value of the integer. That means whatever is negative will be turned to positive, and whatever is positive will remain positive. That means the absolute value. So this has returned 20. Now len, this len will tell you the length of the first string. So hello here uh, has 5 alphabets, so the length will be 5, and this list has 3 elements, so its length will be 3. So length of string is 5 and length of list is 3. Now input, this is used to take an input from the user. So x is equal to input, enter your name, print hello plus x. Again you will concatenate the input whatever x is with hello to get the output. Okay, so we have discussed about the functions also.